We will be changing the sample bylaws to your organization's bylaws, step by step. And we've made it easy. Everything you need to change is in red. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the footer on the bottom of every page. At the bottom of page 1, select the footer. You might have to double click on it. Highlight your organization's name and change it to your actual name, keeping the ink. Now highlight date adopted and enter your organization's start date. Highlight where it says EIN number and type in your new EIN number that you received from the IRS. Now highlight the entire footer and change the font color to black. Click on the page to deselect the footer. Scroll through the pages. The footer should have changed on each page. Save your document. Do the same at the top of the page to change the title. Highlight the title on the top of page 1 that says your organization's name and change it to your actual organization's name, including the ink. Again, highlight this and change it to black. You will repeat this process throughout the entire document. Remember to save the document often, so if you lose the document, you don't lose your changes. Now we're going to go step by step throughout the document and make this document your very own. Subjects in the bylaws are broken into sections and articles. Section 1 is about who you are, where you are, and who keeps the books. Change all of the red areas to what they represent: the organization's name, the corporate address, and your name and address as the trustee. Change this section to black and save your document. Section 2 is about your nonprofit purpose. Article 1 is the most important statement in the document. This makes you 501c3 compliant. Do not change any of this. Article 2, on the other hand, can be changed to fit what you want to do. This allows us to get more specific. First, select organization's name and type in your actual organization's name. You will be repeating this throughout the document. Read through these statements. You can delete any of these that you don't ever want to do. You may add activities that are not listed. It would probably be beneficial to keep the last statement, to engage in other activities related to promoting the welfare of Pennsylvania wildlife or your state's wildlife, because that allows you to be flexible in the future without having to change your bylaws. Change this section to black when you are finished. Save your document. Section 3, Members. This section takes advantage of a unique allowance in Pennsylvania corporate law that allows membership organizations to be nonprofit. Not every state has this, and if you are outside of Pennsylvania, you want to make sure that your state allows this before including this section in your document. In Pennsylvania, this section will prevent a takeover or a coup of your corporation. It ensures that you stay in control. Look at letter A, the number. The corporate shall have one class of members consisting of the initial incorporator and such other persons as members admit into the membership. You are the first member and anyone you let in. The key here is to not ever vote in another member. You remain a member of one, a membership of one, meaning your vote is always the majority vote. B, requirements for membership. Read this carefully. This establishes that you, the only member, set the rules, and you can deny anyone for any reason. No one can force themselves into this membership. Carefully read C through H and see how you, as the only member, can make decisions by making choices and documenting meetings with yourself. Take note in line I that you cannot be dismissed or fired as a member. When filing your articles of incorporation, I will emphasize that you, and only you, sign those papers. That makes you the sole initial incorporator. If anyone else signs them, you can never fire them. Please keep this in mind. Friendships, family relationships, and marriages can fail. Being the only incorporator protects you from everyone else. J, clears up forming supporting members such as honorary contributors who donate regularly. Setting up honorary memberships does not make them a voting member in your organization. It is my suggestion that you do not alter any of the wording in Section 3. This is there to protect you. Section 4, Directors. This is your board of directors. In Article 1, Part A of this section, change the actual numbers to anything you want. You can make the range large or small, and you can have vacant spots. I would suggest a minimum of 3, and you can have as large a number as you want. Article 1, Part B is where you have complete control of the board of directors. You, as the only member, vote on who is and who is not on the board. If you have a problem person, you can terminate them. Don't use this as a threat to always get your way. You won't keep good board members that way. Allow your board to disagree with you and make decisions with you. This is only there to protect you from a takeover, as stated earlier. Article 1C allows you to keep really good people indefinitely. They don't have to serve a limited time. Any part of Article 2 can be changed to fit your situation. Article 2A is there because most rehab centers are started by the rehabilitators themselves. This gives you the perfect reason to be a board member as well as a voting member. Again, select organization's name anywhere that it appears. Type in the actual name. Other parts of Section 4 describe how the board of directors conducts the business of the corporation, that they meet regularly, are not paid, and are not liable. Section 5 is about your officers of the board of directors. Officers of the board of directors in the corporation are the president or the chairperson, vice president, secretary, and the treasurer. Keep in mind, any director can hold several positions. Read through these and make any minor adjustments necessary to fit your situation. Section 6 is important. It's about committees. Article 1 allows you to form an executive committee which allows you to run your day-to-day business without running to the board for approval all the time. Some organizations don't have this, and they can't even pay their bills without a board of director meeting. With an executive committee of 2 members, you can make bank deposits, pay bills, order supplies, pay employees if you have them, and just about anything you need to do to run your organization. In many small wildlife rehabilitation centers, the 2 executive committee members are husband and wife who run the organization, both also being on the board of directors. Exceptions would be a large purchase, such as buying property or an automobile. Such large items should be approved by the board of directors and recorded in the meeting minutes. The board of directors can revoke or modify the executive committee. This protects the board of directors if you do a poor job, and it forces you to keep an open dialogue going with the rest of the board. Article 2 keeps your options open at appointing more committees. Such committees could be made up of people who help with fundraising. Conflict of interest. This section is extremely important and must be in your bylaws. The IRS looks for this specifically when giving 501c3 approval. Without it, you will not be approved. Read through these statements and make sure you understand them. You are not creating the bylaws just for IRS approval. These will be your governing documents. Just as with your purpose, you may from time to time have to refer back to the bylaws to make decisions in the future. When running an organization, there's opportunity for you or another interested party to steer things so that you or they personally benefit. Even if you would never consider this, there will be times when it may appear that you are personally benefiting from the organization. For example, if the center operates from your home or your property, you may have the organization pay part of the electric and the heating bills. Or you may need an addition built on that would increase the value of your property. These are fine to do as long as you are not personally making the decision. If the benefiting party recuses themselves from the discussion, the vote, and ultimate outcome, and those procedures were carried out by the remaining board of directors members, and that fact was written into the meeting minutes, you can defend yourself easily against accusations. In another example, you might wish to receive a salary as the working wildlife rehabilitator, which would also make you an employee of the organization. Recusing yourself from any compensation decisions, such as setting your pay and future raises, will make such actions acceptable. Following this section during times like this and documenting them in the minutes will keep your organization safe from accusations of self-dealing. Sections 8 and 9, very quickly. Section 8 covers contracts and banking. This section protects the corporation from someone taking all the money. It also allows the executive committee to pay normal and operating expenses. Section 9 directs the board of directors to keep accurate corporate records. These include meeting minutes, financial records, an up-to-date copy of the articles of incorporation and the bylaws. It also states that any board of director member has the right to see these records. Article 2 of Section 9 states that the corporation may adopt an official seal. These cost about $40 and are available from various websites. Just search Google for Pennsylvania Corporate Seal. An official seal is not required by law, but it does lend authenticity when entering contracts such as purchasing property. Article 5A sets your fiscal year from January 1st through December 31st. If your accounting year will be different, change these dates accordingly. Change these sections to black. Section 10 ensures that your organization is in compliance and will remain that way with IRS 501c3 guidelines. Anything not previously mentioned is stated here. This section places limitations on the organization's activities, such as not influencing legislation or political campaigns, meaning stay out of politics, and not do anything not permitted by a public charity. This section also prohibits private inurement, meaning you cannot spend the money on anything but the corporation and its missions. Keep in mind, payroll is not private inurement. Payroll is compensating employees for their work. As long as that employment is done in accordance with federal, state, and local laws, with proper deductions for Social Security, compensation, and unemployment, insurances, and tax deductions. Section 10 also covers distribution of assets. If you close, what happens to the assets? This is extremely important. The IRS looks for this specifically when giving 501c3 approval. Finally, Sections 11 and 12 outline how the bylaws themselves can be changed and how they are legally binding. Section 11 states that only the members, that's you, can change the bylaws. That again protects you from a takeover. Have each member of your original board sign this document and date it. If you only have 2 or 3 board members to start, delete any necessary lines so nothing is left blank. Your final step, go through the entire document, check for errors in the written portion as well as the title and footers. Go through each page from start to finish. Clean up any line breaks that might be better placed. Save the document and print it for signatures. Save this original in your corporate file. Photocopies of each page will be sent with your state and IRS applications. You retain the original as long as your organization exists or until you make any future changes to this document.